Hey everybody, it's the Trout, and I hope you're having a wonderfully great day, and thanks for joining us on the Trout Show today. So, what do you get when you get a guy that's a tech guy, and you put him together with a guy that sells hardwood floors, you put him with a guy that makes and shapes hats, cowboy hats, and then you throw in a guy that works for Amazon. Well, what do you do with all those people? Well, you put them together and you call them the Ransom Brothers. Out of Austin, Texas, that's what today's episode's about. This is a band that hasn't been together that long, but have already started making waves in the music industry, starting to build their clientele not just in Texas, but beyond, for people to listen to their music. They got new albums out, and the songwriting is compared to Allman Brothers, Southern Rock, and they even called it kind of Americana. And if you like country, they got that sound too. So they have a wonderful style to them, and even though they're just kind of starting out on the road, they've already got a fan base in Austin that continues to grow in North Texas, and I think it's going to continue to grow more and more. So sit back and enjoy this episode. I think you'll like the episode that we talked to all the Ransom Brothers about how great their music is and where they're going from here in their musical journey. But before we get there, you know what I like. Please like this episode if you like it, and subscribe to my channel. It would be much appreciated. So up next, Austin's own, the Ransom Brothers, showing what Southern rock is really like. That's next on The Trout Show.
Well, tonight I'm cutting loose. I'm stepping in my favorite dancing shoes. Well, tonight I can't be bothered. I'm dancing with my heavenly Father. When I get out to his place, gonna dance until we're blue in the face. Dance all night.
How long has the band been together?
2.5 years, creeping towards 3.
We're creeping towards
Getting
towards 3 years.
Okay, so starting on your right, introduce yourself and what instrument you play.
I'm JT. I've been here for 2 years with the Ransom Brothers, and I play the fiddle.
Ah, I thought I recognized the fiddle player.
Fiddle and vocals, backup vocals.
Okay. Keep going.
So Sal, that's what everybody calls me.
Yeah.
Guitar and mandolin.
Who does the singing, the majority of it? You do. Okay, and your name is?
My name's Sean. I'm our lead vocalist, and I play guitar and harmonica.
Okay, and the gentleman next to you?
My name's
Slide over just a little.
I'm sorry?
Phil.
Okay, Phil. No, I got you. I can see you.
Yeah. Now, my name's Phil, and I play bass. And the guy that's still in bed
It's the drummer.
Yeah, he's the drummer, exactly.
He holds down the floor.
Yeah.
So who plays the lead? Who plays lead guitar?
Him and I both do.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on the song. We'll have like back and forth solos or the harmonized licks and stuff. And sometimes he takes a solo, then JT, and I'm hanging back, and sometimes vice versa.
Okay.
Just kind of depends on the song and kind of how we write it. And, you know, he might come up with something that he shows to us. And he's like, hey, I'm going to take a solo on this one. And if I come up with something, sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm definitely taking a solo here. So just kind of play the song and just mix it up.
Did one or two of you know each other? Is that how it kind of got started?
So Sal and I met through a coworker in 2019, and I had just left a band that I was touring with, mostly in Texas. We didn't really get outside of Texas, but that band, when that band kind of broke up, I had gotten a different job. I'd met a guy in the office after my interview, and he introduced me to Sal. Sal and I went to a few frat kind of fraternity parties in College Station that we played, and then we just started playing open mics, kind of trying to find opportunities to just meet with songwriters and just sort of get into it in Austin. And one thing led to another. We started meeting some really cool guys, good producers, good musicians, and it's just kind of, snowballed.
And what would, if somebody comes up to you and says, what kind, well, I know you get, Sal, you get this all the time when you're booking your people. What do you tell them? What's your genre?
Southern rock.
Southern rock?
End up saying, I had a conversation with a guy the other day, another musician, at this BMI event we were playing during South by Southwest.
Uh-huh.
Same conversation with him, and he's like, I've been saying Texas music. And I was like, that works. So I was like, I like that too. Not for us specifically, because his band was very similar in kind of the sound and genre.
Right.
I just call it Texas music. It's got blues, it's got country, it's got rock. I was like, but yeah, I don't know. Southern rock seems to be the easiest one that kind of gets people like, okay.
I think like Southern rock or Americana rock, or sort of a fusion of those things. That's kind of what it's the best way we can describe it as of right now. A lot of the way we sort of bridge the gap is to sort of explain what our influences are, who we like, who we're aspiring to be in the same genre as. Like, we like Whiskey Myers a lot. We like Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real, Jason Isbell, Drive-By Truckers, James McMurtry, that sort of thing, like Band of Heathens, like guys kind of in that realm,
Right.
which it could fit in at a country targeted festival lineup. It could also fit in something a little bit less, country.
Playing Jesus Dancing for my wife this morning. I said, here's who I'm interviewing. And I tell you what I liked about that song from the very first time I heard it was all the eclectic playing that you guys do. So you got a little bit of the fiddle got in there, which I liked, fit in perfectly. And then you got the lead break, which kind of has that Southern rock thing going on. And then you got the harmonies. And then you kind of got a blend that kind of gives us your own flavor. It's one of those things, I think, really, to be honest with you, that when you hear it, you're like, I know what they sound like, but I can't really explain it to you. I kind of like the Texas thing myself, just because, I guess because I'm Texas. But and you're in pretty good company if you're from Texas. There's a couple of musicians from the state. So when you put the band together, what was the goal? What was the goal then, and what's the goal now?
I think when we put it together, it was just get a band.
When we put it together, it was just, man, let's try to play a show in front of some people. That would be fun. And to be totally transparent, when we first started doing this, we were lucky if we could just get booked at a real venue and play in front of somewhere we could get paid to do it. We just wanted to be in the Austin music scene, period. We didn't know if it would be a career for us. And then when we started to kind of gather the attention of people at well-known venues like Saxon Pub, Rustic Tap, places in Austin that we thought it was going to take us years before we got the chance to play there. And they're like, no, y'all are great. Like, come play. We started to get in touch with good musicians and start to find the guys that we really enjoyed working with and enjoyed making music with. And now that we've seen what the potential is, if we can put our heads together and work hard on it, our goal, I would say at this point, is to be career professional musicians. Like, this is how we put food on our table and a roof over our head. Which right now everybody's working day gigs, and the ultimate goal is to change that as soon as possible.
What's the age group? Who's the oldest? Who's the youngest?
Oldest, 35.
Youngest,
35.
26.
Okay, so you got to put, and the rest of you are in your 30s, I assume, or whatever. Okay.
27.
33.
Okay. And the drummer?
I don't know.
30,
32.
Yes, sir, 30.
30.
I think that tells me what the music you're playing, and you guys know the music industry has changed so much dramatically now. It's not like it was when I was your age. I think it proves to me that you're a mature performer. Okay, you're not 18 or 19 years old, and you're not sitting around going, I can't wait to play in front of 15,000 people. And can I sell a bunch of tickets? You've got more of and you have, and the other part of it is you actually have some responsibilities in your life.
Yeah.
So maybe you're probably married, got family, whatever it is, and you're just like, I can't just, yeah, there you go. So you can't just go, oh, I want to give this up and go on the road. We got to have money coming in.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. So I understand all that. I think the other thing is about you guys have a unique sound. I mean, it's like I said, you sound kind of like something, but not really like this. And so when you guys get together, when did this album that you just came out with, when was it released?
August of last year.
Okay. So you probably already start working on new stuff already, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me how that all comes about. How's the process of putting music together? A new tune.
A lot of it will be at its base. I'll write the lyrics of what a song will be. I'm our principal lyricist. But the way it used to be, it was just like, all right, lyrics, melody, send it to the band. We all work on it as a group to kind of layer cake it, and then just kind of like, okay, that's a finished product. And it's moving now towards I'll write lyrics, but it's everyone needs to kind of sit down and kind of chew on it for a little bit. And sometimes it'll be like, hey, I've got a line here that I'd like to throw in there and make that work. And we're starting to kind of have more of a collaborative attack process as a band. Creatively, we want the record to sound, we want this next record to sound a little bit more broad in terms of how everybody's putting everything into the pot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's basically kind of like build the foundation of it with lyrics and melody, and then everybody put your piece into it.
I know you have day jobs. What's your day gigs? Two of you still work together or what?
I'm in tech consulting
Okay.
down in Austin. Yeah.
All right. And Sal, what do you do?
I sell hardwood floors.
Oh, cool.
I am a cowboy hat shaper, and a hat and boot salesman, and event coordinator for Allen's Boots on South Congress. I help stock our bar with tequila and whiskey, and I book all the live music on our stage.
So you have experience in it.
Yes.
And Phil, what do you do?
I work for Amazon. I'm a machine learning data analyst. It's a remote job, and it's awesome because I can be flexible. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I didn't work, and to come out here and hang with these guys. Oh, I didn't actually play yesterday. The drummer and I just were watching our guys, and
They had us as an acoustic trio.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool. Well, that's all right.
tickle us the whole time.
Yeah.
And what's the drummer do?
He's full-time.
Full-time
Actually, he's the
musician.
only one out of the whole crew who is full-time right now. So, I talk to him all the time, and we're starting to get real busy. We're starting to work with a booking agent. And, my goal to him is like, I got to keep you busy so you can eat.
Yeah, the rest of you have day jobs, but eventually you want that to all go away.
Some times here and there where, he's been offered to go on a tour, and he plays in a lot of churches and knows a lot of people in the Christian music community.
Right.
So, he'll have times where he's like, hey, I got offered to go on tour for like 3 weeks, and like it's guaranteed money for 3 weeks. Like, I got to go. And so our goal is to make sure he doesn't have to do that anymore. So.
Yeah, so that's double whammy for you guys.
Yeah. We're to a better spot too in Austin, getting into more venues versus bars that have a stage.
Yeah.
Even if they have a stage and they have the sound equipment and an engineer to run that for us. But so we're playing Continental next weekend, and we haven't been able to announce it, but we're getting to play Antone's later in June.
Oh, cool.
We're making this shift of less bars and more venues in Austin.
Yeah.
And the Austin crowd is growing to where, we have a lot of people coming to the shows that they weren't friends of any of ours, before. And now it's just every time we have a show, they're there. And they're like, ever since we caught you guys at Saxon Pub or we caught you at Rustic, like we come out to every show if we can. It's developing there in the Austin area, and we're kind of starting to hack up here in the North Texas. We've played up here before, but it was always like, hey, we went and played a show in Dallas, and then we didn't go back for 3 or 4 months. Versus now, we're being able to make it a little more consistent. We've got this weekend up here. We're coming back next month for a Friday and a Saturday, and we'll be back in July. So, you know, we're starting to have more consistency up here, which, you know, hopefully helps all towards that goal too, you know.
And if you had said, you asked us earlier, like, what were your goals when you started? What are your goals now?
Yeah.
If you had gone to Sal and I just popping around town playing open mics and said, hey, one day you will play Scoot-In, Saxon Pub, Continental Club, and Antone's, we would have been like, we're living the dream. Like, that's, we did it. And now we're realizing more and more what the potential can be. And it's like, that's what it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's encouraging for us because we know we're capable of hitting those targets, but it's also kind of sharpening and getting smarter about how we do things as we go. And we don't know what we don't know. The first record that we put out,
You don't know what you don't know. That's right.
the first record we put out, we've all learned a lot. One, as individual musicians, and two, as a group, on how we operate creatively and administratively. So that's the biggest thing that we're all trying to kind of learn together, is how do we get the best output creatively and also the best output growing as a business.
And I think your story is unique from the standpoint of what you all do differently.
Yeah.
And then we start getting you some PR where people are going to, you know, come out and say, I mean, like you saying, you shape hats, you sell hardwood floors. I got an Amazon guy over there. You know, I mean, it's really kind of, and if you need any computer help, our tech fiddle fader can help you with your tech.
That's something that one of our good friends coming up, he gave me a good piece of advice right when we were starting out. He was like, the biggest advantage that you guys have is that there's no wealthy uncle or parent that gave you all the money, gave you all the connections, that, you know, had the right TikTok person that blew you up. Like, there's nobody who can trace your success back to, oh, well, they just made it because of this. And it's like, that's the whole reason why they're doing it. Like, there's Bailey Zimmerman right now is an artist that I can't really get behind his music. He also was like a YouTube, had tons and tons of views because he just like did truck videos on YouTube. And then had a pretty wealthy background with the family, got to know Morgan Wallen, and then boom, stuff like that happens. And I think the thing that he said to us, he's like, the bands that really have a lot of depth and richness to the art that they're ultimately selling is that it came from an actual, like, you know, strife. It came from actually, like, you struggled, you know, you did it the hard way. And when your background comes up that way, you're bulletproof. Like, nobody can poke holes in, like, oh, well, it's just this. It's like, no, they made it because they're good.
Well, tonight I'm cutting loose. I'm stepping in my favorite dancing shoes. Well, tonight I can't be bothered. I'm dancing with my heavenly Father. When I get out to this place, gonna dance until we're blue in the face. Yours truly on the left, Jesus on the right, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost and me. We're gonna dance all night. He said, what you wanna do? I said, I wanna be a little more like you. He said, that's all well and fine, but you gotta polish up so you can shine. He said, listen to me, son, dancing with the devil ain't no fun. Yours truly on the left, not